Yo, welcome, welcome.
Yo,
It's a beautiful day. Welcome back here to the Potluck.
beautiful.
We
Hot
are
as
a
hell.
hip hop podcast serving up culture,
Yep,
current events, and other
yep.
craft dishes. This is your boy, the very refined. I don't even know the words. Refined PT, because we're keeping it culture today. What today's all about culture as a Black community.
Yo, yo. It is tis mrrr- refinement.
Refinement.
Hey
Mods are on like hell right now.
yo, it's your boy Ahmad, aka TKO Joe, aka let me see, I'm gonna start calling myself 3D.
Why?
Don't
You
do
don't
that.
like 3D?
Yeah, I'm just asking why you gonna call yourself
Oh,
3D.
I'm gonna pause.
Listen. I err on the day on the side of I don't play
Refinement.
the pause game. I don't play the pause game.
I'm sick like magic, man. Sick like the owner of the Commanders.
Hey man, listen. Shout out Irvin Magic Johnson, the businessman, taking over the Washington Commanders. I seen him up on stage dancing to some go-go. He was getting it. He was being welcomed by the whole culture, whole DC. I gotta say, shout out to Irvin Magic Johnson, and on also he got a song named after him on the New Nas album called Urban
Sir,
Magic Johnson, talking about black business.
sir.
Nas did just drop.
Yes, sir. Blue. Magic too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what can I say, man? I've been trying to preach to you guys, tell you guys, this man is the GOAT, man. 20 albums. You know what I'm saying? A couple of collaborations, but for the most part,
20?
they're all single. Huh?
20?
20 albums.
Damn, I didn't know he did that many.
Yeah, 20 albums.
What's he shooting, like 50-50?
What
Covered in my heart.
do you
Some
mean? Like 10 of them good, 10 of them bad?
Yeah. That's a lot, bro. I had no idea Nas had 20 under his belt, but I know he had a bad run. But this end of this later half of his career run is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, okay, I get it. I know some people don't like, a lot of his stuff, and that's cool, you know what I mean? But I mean, I've been a Nas fan throughout. I think out of the 20, there's probably like maybe like three or four that I don't like.
That's generous.
No, but I mean, I'm talking about like there's
out of 20
I
albums,
know
that's still crazy.
for sure one that I think is trash. I think, and that's Nostradamus. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that. And there's a couple others that I'm like, yeah, man, like hip hop is dead. I mean,
Horrible.
I know a lot of people don't like it. It's like whatever to me, but I mean, I like some of the stuff on there, and I get what he's trying to do. Street's Disciple, I know that was kind of mild too,
Half good.
but there's some potential there. It just that
It
it shouldn't have been double disc.
it would have been a great single album,
Yeah,
single disc album.
I agree. I think he put a lot of songs on there that they need to be on there and just throwing shit. See.
Unauthorized biography of Rakim, horrible.
I love that song, man. I don't care what you say.
I heard the
I'm a huge
BPM
Rakim,
was 10.
I'm a huge Rakim fan, so I love that song.
Mm,
But
mm, mm.
But I'll say out of the 20, it's probably like three or four that I'm like, whatever. But
You play that Rakim joint 10 times a day, huh?
some of that went over some of heads. So in case you didn't know,
10 BPM.
little background to that little comment he just made. But the whole Rakim thing, look it up 10 times a day. Just type in Rakim 10 times a day in Google, and you're welcome. But out of out of the 20, there's probably like three or four that I don't like or don't care for. But but in all seriousness, like the last what 5, 6 albums. I mean, man, I mean, for someone to reinvent themselves, I know a lot of old cats, hate on, the younger generation, right? I know when I was growing up, they hated on the music we listened to, and a lot of older cats, a lot of older rappers, may feel disrespected by some of the new cats in the game and say, oh well, they don't shout us out, they don't respect us or whatever, and that's valid. You know what I'm saying? That point is valid. but there's also a point. I think older cats are saying, "Well, we're not making money because they say, oh, new music is trash, blah blah. They don't respect our old stuff." But you got to understand, like the culture is moving with or without you. You know what I'm saying? You older cats. So what you got to do is say, you know what? Hey, learn the culture that's going on right now and reinvent yourself. And
I gotta
that's what Nas has done.
I gotta counter that. I don't think Nas has reinvented himself. I just think he has found better production. Like he saw which producers are killing it nowadays, and he's making tracks with them. But style wise, it's the same Nas. Like it's still he still has an unorthodox flow on beats. He's still rapping the same shit that he rapped about. It's just over better production. So I don't think that he reinvented himself. He just grew a good ear for beats, for production, because his choices in production were always questionable.
Sure.
And the Hip Hop is Dead and Streets Disciple albums are signs of that. And yeah, man, he just always needed a better producer, and now, yeah, he's got the right people giving him beats, and he's shining on them.
But you said a key word in there. You said he has a better ear for beats. So technically, that's reinventing himself.
All right, I'll give you that.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like overall, I mean, like he, I think he understood. Okay, like the shit I was doing before wasn't sticking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me run over here. Younger cat, Hit Boy. Shout out to Hit Boy.
Shout out to Hit Boy.
He's been on fire, man. I mean, where he from, Pete? I can't remember. Shoot, is he from West Coast? That's right. He is the West Coast cat. Yes, sir. Okay. He's from the West Coast. Yeah. Right here in the Empire. You know what I'm saying? San Bernardino County. Shout out to Hit Boy. But no, he's been killing it, man. So I had nothing but respect for Hit Boy and what Nas is doing. I mean, as someone who's been in the game, since '94? No.
Yep. Well, '94 was when Illmatic dropped.
But
what was that group? He dropped when he hit that verse, and everybody was just lost their mind.
Barbecue, basically. Since
the barbecue, there we go.
91, not 94. 90. Illmatic dropped before 94, right?
No, it was 94.
94.
I'm looking at it right now.
But shoot, that's 30 years next year, man. That's a long time. And we, I know we talk about rapping as a young man's game, but music in general, I mean, it's hard to stay relevant. It just changes so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a 10-year career.
Nas is turning 49, and he's dropping some of the best albums in the past few years.
Yeah.
Hip hop is not a young man's game. It's a spitter's game.
Right. But I'm saying to stay relevant. I mean, like in general, just in music, like usually people who are younger, they know the culture more, so they usually do better. You know what I'm saying? And people who are older usually kind of fade out. It's not as relevant anymore. Sticking to what they know. And
I think the culture right now is so flash in the pan that I think that the culture, the hip hop culture that Nas grew up in, him finding out how it ties into this sound is going to be way more relevant than anything these new cats are doing. Like their culture, bro, it's come and go right now. That's all it is. Nobody's trying to leave a lasting legacy. Everybody's just trying to get rich quick. Drop your little single, let it be catchy, let it be funny. Shout out to Pound Town, and just ride that wave for as long as you can. Don't look like that, Pete. Pound Town is a great song. We're talking about refinement, right? So Pound Town is refined.
Stop it.
But no, for real, being for real, yeah, I don't think that. I think you're using the term culture too loosely. It's really the production that's pushing it all, because Nas ain't out here, having these goofy ass TikTok dances tied into his music or his videos. If he's still making videos, he's not wearing this goofy shit that these new cats are wearing. He's not wearing skirts or trying to be all out looking weird as hell like most of these new rappers do nowadays. He's still Nas, just over better beats. It's man, he just found the right producer, bro.
Yeah.
And like those two together,
yeah, they smacking it right now.
Man,
no doubt.
Yeah.
So match made in heaven.
So This Matt, just real quick before we stop talking about it, this Magic 2. Ahmad, I'm gonna let you. What do you think? Because I know me and you got opinions on it. Would you? Yeah, I'm gonna just say what I think right now.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. If y'all can't see, Magic 2, it gave you everything you wanted, man. It's a full ass plate. I know we don't use it too much of the Potluck, but it's a full motherfucking plate. Like it gave you everything you wanted, whatever style you wanted. He was on it. He's killing it. If he wasn't in your GOAT discussion before, and he's not in it now, then you don't know hip hop. Plain and simple. Shout out, we know hip hop, but if you don't put Nas up there, then I don't know what's wrong with you. And I'm somebody who, I'm Tupac till I die. But listen,
okay, here we
Nas
go.
might be the greatest. I'm gonna just say it.
All right, I like that, man. I mean, it's taken years to convince you, but you finally coming around, my brother.
He had to get his average up. That one hot album every 10-year average, like Jay told him. He had to get the average up, and he been stacking the numbers since then. He been really trying to past couple years. He been putting up numbers.
Yeah, he been fucking camel lips up lately.
I think if you taking some shots at him too. He takes shots at him. Like if you really listen, they always take shots at each other, but he really takes some shots at him. Like that are like
really jazz. I mean, I think they genuinely they cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I've only listened to it once, so I don't have a good opinion about it. I don't have like a well thought out research opinion, but I mean, for what I've heard so far, I mean, it's typical Nas as of late. You know what I'm saying? Just giving you a little bit of everything, and just like you said, and just like just putting it all out there and just experiment with different stuff, or
Yep.
But no, I mean, him and Hit Boy, man, they killing it, man. He even have a song where you said Urban Magic Johnson, Bokeem Woodbine. I mean,
yeah. The songs is
How did it feel to have a song named after you, Ahmad?
Well, it looked like just like that, man.
Oh man. Well, he don't wear hats, does he?
There ain't enough tricks to go with Brandon.
Shout out Bokeem Woodbine, man. He been around forever working. He even uses Jason's lyric in there. I think it's safe to say that every song on that Nas album is better than Pound Town. Every single one.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that alone. Speaking of towns,
man. Here we go.
Oh man, so Jason Aldean, country singer, got a song out called Don't Try That in a Small Town. And a video. If you haven't seen it, don't waste your time if you haven't seen it already. Who cares? But it's on us to talk about it a little bit. Basically, the song is, and I guess I'll talk about it being the country music guy that I am. Starts off basically, small town, community. This is how we look out for each other. We keep it tight knit. We love each other. God first, church, the whole nine. And then quickly gets into, we come around here. We got guns. We're gonna shoot you. I got my granddaddy shotgun. Whatever he said. Don't bring that hood shit around here. Basically, is the messaging. And then if you see the video with it, it's very clear what he's talking about. What's your thoughts on that, man? I know, Ahmad, you got some thoughts on it right away because Ahmad got a hit single coming out soon. I promise you.
I know. No, you know what, man? Like to be honest, today's my first day listening to it. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to it this morning. I was like, let me check this out because people keep talking about it and saying like it's racist, or some people are defending it, all that stuff, right? And so like you look on the internet, you'll see a little bit of everybody kind of like going at it, right? But when I first listened to it, I was like, okay, like I knew it was something wrong, but I knew it was something right about it too. But I just couldn't pinpoint what was wrong exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, okay, I know like the good. Is this part where he says the good old boys raised right. That didn't sit well with me because we already know what the term about good old boys mean, right? Like these, white country boys. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all together. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna take care of any ninjas that come through, right? Round them up, all that kind of stuff, right? So that's when I hear the word good old boy, that's what I associate with. So that part didn't sit well with me. But also the fact that he said raise right. And I know like the beliefs of a lot of people who are conservative is that basically, like black men don't stay with their kids. You know what I'm saying? That's like the belief of a lot of these cats. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole they preach the whole single parent narrative that like black people don't marry their the person they get pregnant, they run off, they're in jail or they do whatever and they leave, but they don't create a family, marry and raise their kids together. So that right there also like raised a red flag to me too, because I'm like, well, when you say good old boys, I know you're not talking about black people. That's not a term we use, right? Or that's used for us, right? It's used for certain group of people. But also when you say raised right, so these good old boys are raised right, you're saying to me that people who aren't good old boys, us or whatever, aren't raised right. So that didn't sit well with me. But I watched this video, this lady broke it down even more, and it started to resonate. And I agree with her when she says, like, and just like you said too, it starts out innocent, right? I think everybody can agree, community, saying if you live on a block, right? If you want to call it neighborhood watch or whatever,
Can
saying
I,
you go,
I hate to interrupt you. Can I dial back my starts off innocent though?
yeah, go ahead.
Just because I hate to downplay myself as an unintelligent black man, because I'm very intelligent about what goes on in the world. It actually, for me, it didn't start off innocent. I said that, but it actually didn't. Because as soon as I know the song's name is "Don't Try That in a Small Town," I already know what it's about.
Right. Okay. But I'm saying as far as what he's talking about, what I'm saying, like him talking about, small town community, what I'm saying? Like if, I live in a small neighbor, I mean, not small neighborhood, but like I have my little
Yeah.
cul-de-sac with five houses. We all know each other. You know what I'm saying? We all cool. I went to a party of one of my neighbors last night. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out of town, I'm like, hey, can you look out for me, take my trash out? You know what I'm saying? If someone's like looking at my house, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like
Community.
what's going on community, right? So that part I get, what I'm saying, small town, somebody come through, what I'm saying, we're gonna, like, hey, like what's good, you know what I mean? But so I get that part, but then it starts to get into some other stuff, but I think he's trying to like cover it all within that. Oh, see, really what I'm talking about is we're taking care of our own small town, but it kind of reminds me of the whole like what do you call them back then, sundown towns,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like don't let the sun like go down on your black
Back
ass.
then, by the
Say,
way, there's still
hmm?
sundown towns right now.
Oh yeah. No doubt. But I mean, like that's what was talked about, back then a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what it reminded me of. But and then like I was watching the video, I can't remember who it was. You sent me the video, but she was talking about how like uh as it starts to show all these protests and show all this stuff, um, that like it has them playing their music with the flag in the background as if they're heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it is kind of weird, man. I mean, of course, a lot of some racial undertones that a lot of people will dismiss, but it was kind of weird. I didn't see it. I mean, every single thing. I only watched it once, but when I watched her video and I look back at it, I started to see a little more of what was going on. But the whole small town sentiment or community, that part I agree with, but all the other stuff he threw in there, I think he really messed up his the message he was either trying to portray or wanted to cover. Uh,
I don't listen. I'm gonna say this. I don't
you know,
think he messed up the message he was trying to portray. I think he said exactly what he wanted to say, in the way he wanted to say it, which is always the thinly veiled. And until once when the old saying, once you see something, you can never unsee it.
mm-hmm.
So like Dick Gregory talks about that. Once you put the glasses on, you can never take them off. You always have that vision. So
Right.
when I hear the song and I listen to Dirt Road Anthem, we did Dirt Road Anthem with Ludacris, the remix with
Who
Luda. They performed that live.
who
Uh,
did?
Jason Aldean. Uh, Yeah, so that I enjoy some of his music, Burn It Down, all this other stuff. But I always took that knowing that me listening, and this is the same way I do with a lot of music, especially country music, that their personal beliefs will shine through, and you'll know. And there's plenty of songs from country artists that are like that, from plenty of songs from any musician or pieces of art that are like that. So I think he said exactly what he wanted to say. Now, he's kind of getting the repercussions of it. He probably didn't say exactly what he wanted to say. He probably wanted to come out and say, well, the songwriters probably wanted to write it and say more, but you have to be kind of coded. And and you touched on this, Martha, you did a good job of coding it, which leads me to this. It's a bigger problem that you think that, and this is what Ahmad was saying, not that you all think, but that people think that small town, when he's talking about small town, he thinks it too, and the writers do. We're talking about small white town or racial town or a white town with maybe a couple blacks in it, because there's plenty of white towns, and they consider the one or two black guys in that part of their crew, good old boys, and those guys
as long as they act the same way.
Act the same way, exactly. Yeah, if you acting like you from Southwest Atlanta, and like they're not going for that. You might fly. I've seen plenty of blacks in the South that fly a Confederate flag because they're like, oh, this is my culture. I grew up in this. And I think that's part of the issue is the dangerous rhetoric that we think is black and white, because there's plenty of small town black communities that are like, hey, boy, don't come around here with that nonsense. And I'm not just talking, yes, minorities congregate in major cities because it's safety there. Hence the whole small town thing. There's safety in the major cities, but there's plenty of small town black folks or black small towns, small Spanish towns, South or not South or wherever, that they have that same sentiment, that same community. And as same token, there's plenty of cities. I live in, everyone knows I live in the city. I live in the middle of the city. But if I go up to my local little market here, they ask me about how my baby's doing, how my girl's doing, how my dog is doing. I know that the nephew up there just got married this weekend. Like we have that community within our little city. And that's, so that's why I think it's dangerous what he's trying to say, because that feeling of that small town and community can be anywhere. It's about the people who are around it. Like you can have, there's plenty of mixed communities out there that are small town and they look out for each other and they feel the same way. You're watching your white neighbors back, they're watching your back. Like you said, Amar, you go out of town, this and that. And I think that's where he becomes problematic, because he starts to really just like, well, no, I'm in the small white towns. And that's where really, and you see the flag flying for it without him even raising the flag.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm not saying like he tried to like cover his message. I mean, not that he meant something else. I'm just saying like if a person really was trying to do that, like portray the whole like small community, small town, he messed it up with the other stuff.
Yeah,
that's what I really meant. Maybe I didn't say it right, but
no, you said it right. I was agreeing with you. I was just saying, yeah.
For me, that good old boys joint was the only red flag that I got from the lyrics, because I expect that type of belief from people that come from quote unquote small towns, right. Bible Belt motherfuckers. But it was the video that was more problematic. If he would have just had that song, and like I was telling y'all earlier, the imagery was totally out of line with the song about community. There was so much violence in that video, and it didn't convey the same train of thought that the lyrics were talking about, at least in my opinion. If you were to just go based off of lyrics, then yeah, it's not the same train of thought. But the video and him approving that video shows the train of thought that he was on when he wrote that song. It's not about us taking care of our own. Once he got into the political shit, if you step on a flag, if you burn a flag, oh, we're gonna beat your ass. Like, bro, get out of here with that. Like, you took something that could have been positive and turned it into a controversial thing. And maybe it was complicated, not complicated, but maybe it was calculated, because he knows that controversy sells nowadays. I would have never listened to the song. He would have never got a play on YouTube for me. But because I needed to know what he was talking about, just because we decided to make it a topic, I really wouldn't care unless we were talking about it. he got a spin for me because it's controversial. People want to talk about this thing, and now he's got maybe a million more spins than he would have gotten from people who the message is actually targeting. Like that song isn't for us. The song is about us, and now we're listening to this shit, and he's making money off of it. While he's insulting us in the same, on the same side. So it's I think he did it on purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing with that song. He knew exactly what he was doing by putting the imagery that he put in the video. And I think the video is more problematic than the song itself.
Yeah.
If he would have showed family, community sticking together, if he would have showed, like a tornado running through one of their ragged ass towns and them helping each other out, to after a disaster, it would have went completely different.
Right. I agree.
But that's not what sells, It's that controversy. It's that, that super conservative point of view, like it's us against the world right now. Type of way of thinking, and that's what he was playing to. And if you guys don't know what he looks like, it's Mr. Blackface right here. So don't even think that he has any idea about sensitivities towards racial issues in this country.
That's him right there.
Yeah, Mr. Blackface. Yeah, that's him.
That was him like a few years ago. Yeah, that wasn't like, that's not 2010. That's like 2015, 2017 or something, right?
Yeah.
So look, let's just real quick before we get off the subject. So I don't want to dwell on that. We got some other stuff to talk to, but sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. Y'all think it's cool? Well, act a fool if you like. Cuss a cop out, or cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. So I just want to give y'all a just quick nuance on it. And he goes on to talk about the city. The city versus the small town stuff has always been a black and a white thing. The cities have, or not even just black and a white, but minorities. White, yeah. Spanish, black, whatever it is, has always been a thing. It is always, hopefully isn't always a thing, but it has always. Because the cities represent a large portion of minorities. I think outside of Lou, I'm the only one who's lived full time in the South, right? So when they're talking about sucker punching, carjacking, they're talking about city. They're talking about not necessarily black or white, but they're talking about city for sure. Pull a gun on a liquor store owner, talking about city. And when you talk about city, that's talking about minority. So when they say we take care of our own, that is a very Southern term, Southern white way of saying, don't come to our town if you're not white. That's not just a we take care of our own. When you hear a Southern white person, especially with family that grew up in the South, if you ask some older black person about if they go to a town and say, oh, around here, we take care of our own, they know they're getting the fuck out of that town because that means they're in danger. So that's what that means. So a lot of it is, well, it seems even, like I said, that's why I was dialing back my, like, it starts off innocent. It's not, because there's a lot of coded language in that.
Yeah.
And that kind of rhetoric permeates the culture and goes to the next generation of people. And they think it's okay to act like that. Well, they're black, so I bet you they don't have a father. Or, he's black, so I bet you he got kids out of wedlock and has left his family high and dry, And there's a very poignant, I won't waste too much time.
Turn around and love David Goggins, but go ahead.
Yeah, right? Loved it. David Goggins. Fuck David Goggins. But I don't want to go too far into it, but it is a thing of, it's a divide and conquer almost tactic, because and there's a lot of different coded language which influences the next generation of people to think and act like how they're going to act towards minorities, towards cities, towards white people, towards everybody, So, on that topic, coded language and influence the next generation. Let's talk Jeezy.
Jeezy, huh?
Jeezy. And I think Otis is typeface because he saw that lead-in was not the one he wanted. Because I know his stance.
No, I'm typeface because I'm disappointed in people's take on this.
Okay, go ahead, talk to us about it. Tell us what's up with Jeezy. What's going on?
Jeezy went on a radio show talking about how he had a successful steakhouse, and then when he went on a radio show, he mentioned that he owned it, and then all of a sudden, the way people behaved in that steakhouse changed. People, he said some people that he hustled with were in there smoking blunts, and he said you would have thought it was a Freaknik the way people were behaving.
Yeah.
It's bro, I just can't believe that. Some people are saying, well, you promoted this type, you promoted degenerate behavior by rapping about cocaine and street life and so on and so forth. And at no point, even though they claim that accountability isn't off the table, at no point are these people holding, the parties who did this shit accountable. They're making it about Jeezy and about people promoting this type of behavior within the culture. And yeah, I get that music and media influences weak-minded people, but I think there are more strong-minded people than weak-minded people. So you at some point, bro, you got to hold folks accountable for their own choices, for their own actions. Bro, no matter how many movies I see about somebody shooting, no matter how many songs I hear about somebody shooting, I'm not gonna go out there and kill somebody because they said something I didn't like. That's just it's a crazy way of thinking that you can excuse certain behavior just because a person made entertainment that was geared towards degenerate behavior.
You are an optimistic kind of guy, and I didn't know it. There's more weak-minded people than strong-minded people, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
There's what, like 500 million, there's 500 million people in this country right now. If you think it, now think about it, bro. If there were more weak-minded people than strong-minded people, I think we would see more of this bad behavior from people. Everybody would be lighting blunts in restaurants if that was the case.
There's
more good than bad in this world. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's more weak-minded people than strong-minded people because
yeah, but but as far as weak-minded, maybe like not willing to go the extra mile, a little lazy, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like committing, doing dumb shit,
letting media control your actions.
Right. I think they're strong-minded in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? You probably can't get everybody to go out there and run 10 miles. So that in that department, a lot of people may be weak-minded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or going to the gym every day, or just eating right every day, or just like, maybe doing a simple task that, require like, something you every day, or read a book every day, or, read 20 pages every day. I don't know.
Lacking in certain disciplines. Basically,
yeah.
That kind of weak-minded, of course. Like there's way more weak-minded people in that sense.
But as far as following the law and doing what's right, I think there's more strong-minded people than weak-minded people.
Ahmad, you went to the gym?
Huh?
I heard you mention gym.
I was just throwing shit out there, like he said.
Work out, Ahmad? We are shocked.
We didn't know.
I'm just using examples, but I'm saying like I think there's more strong-minded people than weak-minded people in that sense. You know what I'm saying? I think most people would say, you know what, shit, like I'm not gonna go smoke a blunt in the restaurant.
Why?
It's like as soon as people found out that Jeezy owned it, all types of social norms and good behavior went out the window. How many? I mean, bro, I've been to more than a handful of nice restaurants. I ain't never seen nobody light up. I don't even see people vape in these restaurants, bro. People are on their best behavior when they enter these spots, but as soon as you find out a nigga owns it, then you're gonna get into some nigga shit. Like that's crazy.
Is it though? Is it specifically a Jeezy type own it?
What's up?
Is it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who owns the restaurant. It doesn't matter. Your behavior shouldn't change, or a new type of crowd shouldn't feel like, oh, it's okay to act this way in this type of establishment just because a rapper owns this. That's crazy.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but the real question is, why did they feel comfortable to do that then? If y'all don't know
exactly
I'm a
why.
long-time restaurant. I ran restaurants.
That's the magic question. Why all of a sudden these niggas would say, you know what, fuck that. Fuck your couch.
Listen,
all of a sudden, right?
I ran restaurants for years. I've run all black events at restaurants. Not days where we shut it down and we turn it into a nightclub till 3 a.m. Like I've done it all. And y'all like that? Y'all ain't catch that one.
I done did it all.
Yeah, listen. Except Chili. Shout out Chili. I still love you. Still love you. Oh, I still love Chili. I don't care what nobody says. Anyway, point being, nah, I haven't had nobody try to smoke a blunt in my restaurant, even if they knew me. You know, there's nothing about me that says you can come in my place and smoke a blunt. If someone did pop in and try to smoke a blunt, they wouldn't feel right about it. Everyone around them, the type of place it would be, my history and who I am would make them not feel right about it. I'm not blaming Jeezy. I'm definitely not.
Do you think he's wrong for calling them out for that behavior just because he was the owner?
Absolutely not. He's not wrong.
You said you were torn, so what were you torn about?
I'm torn because there is this deeper social kind of talk that's going on about, well, you profited off these same people who go into establishments and do that for years, and now when they come into your establishment, you have a problem with it.
Were these people doing that for years?
Well, smoking that's in restaurants different. Yes, the hustlers, like the big. You think Big Meech didn't walk into a place and do whatever the fuck he wanted when he wanted it, right then and there? But he probably also had the sense enough to know that I don't go to Roof Chris and smoke a blunt in the back.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless I've shut down the whole place, I've bought out every single thing, and I tell them this is what's going on, and even still, Roof Chris is going to be like, "No, sir,
no,
you can't do that here." So I don't. I think it's part of the. Like I said, I think it's because it was Jeezy and what he's put out as who he is in the past that they were like, "Yo, we're gonna go to Jeezy's place." Also, you know what? Who knows, man? Like niggas could just be hating.
That's what it could be, bro. But just it doesn't matter what type of music that he put out. It doesn't matter. Dr. Dre, like think about if Dr. Dre were to open a restaurant, does that mean, this is a weed establishment that like you could just do whatever the hell you want? No, bro. Business is business. And if you can put your best behavior on, your best face on when you go into any other business, treat his exactly the same, because it's at the end of the day, it's a business. And the restaurant business is not easy to stay afloat. And they killed it. They killed his business.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, they killed his business with that shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, did you do anybody any favors just because you wanted to show out in Jeezy's restaurant? That's some stupid shit.
So what do you do about that? How can you even address that? Like what was Jeezy? If Jeezy owns a restaurant now, I bet you he doesn't say anything about it.
He shouldn't. And you know what? Somebody, I think it was Alden that said, this is why most uber rich black folks put a white face on their business. And it's crazy that we have to do that to protect ourselves from our own.
It's self-hate is a real thing sometimes. But that's I don't know if we talked about this at all.
We have to include white people into our business to have black people on their best behavior. Let that shit sink in.
Overseer.
Yes, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
that is a terrible way of thinking. And now people are justifying this. Well, you made this music and you did it, bro. Yeah, that is a poor excuse. That is a poor excuse. Niggas love accountability until it's time for niggas to be held accountable, bro.
Okay, so let's talk accountability then, really though. So I'd love to see them being held accountable. No, you shouldn't be going in a nice steakhouse smoking a blunt. You shouldn't go in any restaurant really and smoke a blunt.
Unless it's a weed fusion spot.
And Jeezy is not wrong for holding them accountable, right? But the music you put out, I'm not saying it's a direct correlation, but it is to an extent, because what you put out to influence, we were just talking about this small town, what you put out to influences the next generation out you. Your parents are listening to Jeezy and you're listening to a little bit of Jeezy, or if you're listening to Jeezy at 16 growing up and the stuff he's talking about, and I'm not just saying Jeezy, this could be Jason Aldean talking small town, don't come around here, nigga, we don't do that. You listen to that growing up, and then years later, you're in these situations and you're like, man, I don't understand why they did this to me. Well, if I I'm just saying, I'm not excusing the behavior. What I'm saying is, I think some people miss the conversation when they're bringing up his music. No, you can't say, well, you used to rap about coke, so what you think they're going to be doing in your restaurant, man? No, you can't. That's not those don't 1 + 1 don't equal 2 there, you know. But it's fair to say that if the if we're messaging you're putting out or have put out in the past, if that affects the culture, when you see how it affects the culture, because maybe Jeezy looked at that and was like, ah, fuck, I need to start making some more conscious music. So these, I don't know, but like they're not mutually exclusive. You can't have one without the other. I'm not saying it's right to go into any person's restaurant and smoke a blunt. I don't know niggas who go in your restaurant and smoke a blunt and raise hell, and then when the police call, they skirt out. But I'm just saying you can have accountability on both sides. It's not wrong for people to ask and question why he didn't in the article we saw in the clip and everything. He does not look mad. He's not mad about it. He don't sound even like he's talking shit. He's just telling you a fact of what it was.
Yeah.
I wanted a nice steakhouse. They turned it into Magic City, Freaknik. That's it. That is what it is. Like he knows what it is. He's not mad. He don't sound mad about it. Sound like I just learned my lesson. The next time I'll be quiet about it.
You shouldn't have to be.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. You should, but I mean,
you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to downplay or hide your accomplishments to make sure people don't disrespect your spot. Like, bro, it's just a poor way of thinking. You're sitting up here doing things that could be an inspiration to others. You think this is going to inspire more? Like, what if this was successful and rappers behind the scene knew about it and they're like, oh damn, well, let me do a high-end restaurant. And now next thing you know, you're creating a whole new population of successful Black business owners.
1000%.
And Black people should support their own. Like, bro, Jeezy got a restaurant. Well, let me go see what this is about. Kind of like Bun B with the Trill Burgers, bro. He's got lines around the block because it's Bun B, but people in his hood respect him. So I don't know. Maybe it's a matter of respect, but who knows what it is. I don't understand. I seriously can't wrap my head around what would make somebody think that it's okay to go into a fine dining establishment and behave that way. It's just I can't wrap my head around it at all. But
maybe because you know what? I got you. I know what it is. I just thought about it. Because it was Jeezy, they didn't think it was fine dining. The plates can cost however much. You could have had a star or two. They didn't think it was fine dining. And I say that to say this. Because I was watching a clip. Y'all know I'll be watching my proactively Black clips. And I forgot the two people that were talking, but one guy said, oh, you mean like white ice is always colder, than black ice. He's like, I don't know why we think that way. And the dude literally told a story about when he was in Jacksonville, Florida, and he watched a guy pull up, go across the street, take out the ice bag at the little market, mess with it, look at it, put it back down, and go across the street to the white store and buy some ice from them. And he said he asked him, why'd you buy that ice? He goes, oh, well, because Mr. Wilson's, or whatever his name was, Mr. Williams' ice, it'd be too clumpy. This and that. It's like, so you didn't buy from the black guy because his ice is too clumped together. Yeah, so I came over here to buy from the white guy. He got better ice. And that's the whole mentality that's fucking us up.
So you say because it's Jeezy, they didn't think it was fine dining. But as I was saying, to you guys and online, these cats aren't going into Burger King lighting up blunts. They're not going into McDonald's lighting up blunts. And we even said, bro, we've been to Waffle Houses and you don't see nobody smoking weed in a Waffle House. Jared said, like, take it to the parking lot like we always like you normally do. To handle it in the parking lot and then go inside. That's normal behavior. That's normal behavior. At no point should the entertainment that a person put out change the way that you behave.
So let me ask,
let's say it's not fine dining.
If it wasn't smoking blunts, if it was just like twerking and dancing and partying, is that okay there?
No. Do they even play music? Like, do they even play music at steakhouses?
They're playing music.
Like twerking to Mozart and shit, bro. Get out of here. No, it's not happening.
And let's say we all go to Jeezy's restaurant and we say, oh, this is not fine dining. Does that mean we pull out, we start smoking it inside of the restaurant, or we just say, you know what, this is an establishment, whether we think it's high class or not, we're still gonna respect it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're just gonna if we're gonna smoke, we're gonna smoke outside.
We're gonna do
Go to
what they had in
Morton.
Philly.
Imagine going to Morton's and being like, "Oh yeah, man, I asked for medium, but this shit was medium well. Let me just go ahead and roll up right here at the table then,
Right.
because they
You
ain't fine dining." No, man, that's
No,
stupid.
know,
hey, hey, trust
respect the establishment no matter what you think about it, and move on, especially when it's a black owned business. Because we already get it a bad enough rep. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think the food is good, cool. You think the food is bad, cool. That's your opinion, right? But that doesn't mean you disrespect the business. Just say, you know what? Hey, I wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna eat my plate, pay my bill, and move on. That's it.
Here's something else to think about, bro. You will support Jeezy in the negative aspect. You'll buy all his albums. You know, you'll give him all the spins on streaming. You'll support that negativity. But when he's trying to do something positive, that's when you start acting a fool. That's when
Right.
you like, yeah, I'm not going to respect this anymore. Him trying to better himself, him trying to do something positive and good. Nah, I don't like that shit. Give me the snowman.
Right.
they
Yeah, I
were
mean, it's
treating that
like,
joint like DMX with the two fools in Belly. When they, when they were at the restaurant in Belly,
Yeah, exactly.
guns on the table, like, what's up, nigga? What's up? White folks running out the door. Oh my God, these niggas are drunk.
It doesn't.
it's obvious to me that Jeezy seemed like a dude who, you know what I'm saying, like, of course, if you from the hood, you see things, you know what I'm saying, you come out of the hood, you a rapper, you're gonna rap about certain things. But it's clear to me that he's grown and evolved from everything that we known about him in the past. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Even watching the the verses with Gucci,
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, I know a lot of cats was giving him heat and saying, oh, blah blah, but they don't understand the maturation that Jeezy has gone through all these years, and say, you know what, hey, I know I effed up in the past, you know what I'm saying, with whatever we had going on, but I'm gonna step above that. But we still gonna do this together and show that two black men can come together, and you know what I'm saying, like, let whatever happened in the past be it and move on. It doesn't have to always be about constant retaliation, and you know what I'm saying, the cast is trying to get even, what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't know, man. I I respect what Jeezy's doing, man. He's trying to do something different, evolve. I support black owned businesses when I can. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm in full support, man. So people who are doing all that shit, that's kind of
I think
whack.
I think it's time for us to grow up as a whole, bro. Like we got to start respecting people's growth. We can't hold people to the same standards that they held themselves to in the past. If
Right.
a person has grown, then grow with them. And if you can't grow with them, then fall back. But
Right.
don't sit up here and bring just because a person did something in the past. And it's just we're talking about making music, bro. And then when it comes to the murder, that was technically self-defense. The rest of
Mhm.
his street cred, I don't know about. I ain't even gonna speak on that. But
Right.
I'm just saying, like, he's shown growth. He's not about that life anymore. Respect a person's growth. Stop trying to bring people down back to the level that you think they should be at.
Right.
I mean, that's a whole bigger subject, And
The whole crabs in a bucket thing, man.
Yeah,
but why I stopped using crabs in the bucket? I'm gonna give y'all some history real quick. Because
because you're a
apparently,
crip.
crabs in the bucket aren't trying to pull each other back down. They're trying to link and pull each other up and out. So it's worse than crabs in the bucket for sure. And that's I don't know. I'm not going.
Crawfish in a bucket.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pretend to have the answers on it, but it's a big cultural thing, and like you said, it is time for us as Black America, and I hate even saying Black America sometimes. Y'all know that, but for us as a culture to grow up.
I mean,
Now to see that, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, I mean, I think you can use Black America just in the sense of, like, like, yeah, we got to support each other. You know what I'm saying? To see each other grow. Like I was in Tulsa last week, and so I went down to Black Wall Street, and I was like, I got to support these businesses because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna support. I spent a lot of money, but I was like, you know what? Screw it, man, because these are Black owned businesses. You know what I'm
Bigger
saying? Like,
picture.
I know the history went on down there. I'm going to support. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I mean, they have some good products too. I mean, so it is what it is. But like when people do step out and try to do stuff like this, we got to support it, man. We can't just be like, oh, this is Jeezy. And that nigga, man, you know what I'm saying? He made music in the past about this. Fuck it. Hey man, let's light up right here. We can't do that.
I'm down to talk about it from the other side though, about somebody pushing a negative image and the effect that has on people. Yeah, I wish that we would go more towards a positive, a more positive content. But as I was saying earlier, in the show, that's not what the culture is right now. It's all about getting that quick buck, and people know the way to get rich is negativity. And to kind of go off topic, but not really. In the new Black Mirror season, there was an episode called Joan is Awful, and later in the episode, they were like, "Well, why did you name it Joan is Awful?" And the owner of Starberry or whatever, which is supposed to be Netflix, they were like, "Well, we did a study and we found out that people don't want to see the positive image. They're more attracted to the negativity and seeing the person go through the downs and outs and their worst. So, awful sells better than awesome."
Yeah.
So, maybe, and I don't know if we've been conditioned to be that way because dramas are at an all-time high. We were talking about sitcoms and positive imagery before we even jumped on, but you really don't see that anymore. Right now, dramas push everything. It's the negativity that pushes everything right now.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe we just need to start tuning out from that. That again, that comes down to personal choice. It's all about what you choose to do. So maybe people need to start choosing to go towards the positive content, and maybe things will change right along with that. If they see that positivity is more profitable, then maybe positivity will become the new thing again. But I mean, even still, you can't allow the media that you take in to control the way you act, the way you see things, and the way you behave.
Yeah,
I'll agree. But there's a lot of people being raised on that media, and that's who's. You know what? That's a whole nother subject.
But it's kind of the same subject.
It is. It is.
If this is the argument that the people that are justifying that weed smoking in the restaurant, if that's the argument that they're taking, then that's the subject, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Even one of the best even one of the best white rappers ever said something about that. He mentioned that years ago about how Arnold Schwarzenegger steals people in his movies, but he raps about stuff and it's like it's really bad.
It's the end of the world.
You know what I mean? And so like these guys, I mean, let's be honest. Anybody who's a rapper.
Shut up, Vince.
Right. Anybody. I had a few too many IPAs, so I'm just chilling. But no, but anybody who's a rapper, I mean, at the end of the day, man, they're kind of like an actor, man. They're a performer. You know what I'm saying? So everything they talk about isn't real. I mean, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these cats have seen stuff. I mean, I've seen stuff in the streets too. Doesn't mean I wasn't the one out there shooting. You know what I'm saying? If I
think the only
I probably talk about like I was the one doing shooting.
Otis,
I think the only real serial killer that made. Sorry, go ahead, Pete.
So what's your favorite saying? You like your rappers
fake?
Yeah.
I like my rappers fake, but I was about to say, brother, I think the only real serial killer that was, rapping about the murders that he actually did was King Von. And, a lot of these cats ain't King Von out here, bro. So you can't take that at face value.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Like these cats are actors. So like, I think like you said, people need to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Culture. I mean, of course, we're speaking mostly on Black culture, so we don't want to say like we're the only culture doing this because white culture does stuff too. Like I'm saying, cats go and do these mass shootings and like
But
do stuff too. We all do stuff. I'm just saying like
I'm gonna just argue with you not even argue with you real quick. I'm gonna just add on to that because that's even when they talk about the mass shootings and everything. That's even spun off because if you go to a trailer park, it's the same shit that's going on in the Black neighborhoods.
Yeah, for sure.
There's drugs. There's guns. Now a lot of
all that stuff. So they all
listen to rap music because that's what we're talking about and that's what they know. But they listen to some country too. Like they listen to a little bit of everything. So it's not even just it's so it's not. I'm agreeing with you.
We're just narrowing it down. You know what I'm saying? Like and we speaking on. I mean, we're talking about Jeezy's restaurant. So the people who are in this restaurant doing this stuff happen to be part of the culture. Specific culture that we're talking about, right? So I just think as that part of the culture, we gotta say, you know what, a lot of cats got to grow up, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and I
Hey,
think
this is just fantasy stuff.
I think a good analogy is this: if you walk into let's say who's a big country artist right now? Let's say you walk into Tim McGraw's restaurant,
Right.
right? And this is kind of a class. This is a class issue. It's not even a race issue. You walk into Tim McGraw's restaurant as a lower class white American, lower economic white American. You dip everywhere you go. He got a high class steakhouse. You're not going to put in a dip and use a spitter in Tim McGraw's restaurant because, well, he talks about the country music and the dipping. I'm a dip right here. You go into that with the sort of not reverence, but a sort of respect for what he's doing. And
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point. Like, respect people's growth, respect what they're talking about. Their music is their music. Doesn't mean you go in there
Right.
acting ass.
That's a whole separate thing. That's what he's using to make money, man. He's an actor. At the end of the day, they make music videos. They're
I didn't say
acting in
it,
a
Jeezy.
video.
I didn't call you an actor, bro. I'm just, yeah, mom just said he's an actor.
That's at the end of the day, it's entertainment, man. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying?
That restaurant wasn't in Young Jeezy's name, it was in Jay Jenkins' name. Treat that man like Jay Jenkins, bro.
Right. Right.
Sean Carter owned the 40/40 Club.
You know what I'm saying? Jeezy is an actor. Jay Jenkins or whatever? That's his government. So that's who he is, you know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Well, I think I said it was a nuanced topic. I'm in agreement with y'all. I know we like to go back and forth on the different aspects of it, but I
It's like
think
being
it's
a difficult
something.
nigga, man. That's what that is.
I mean, I just think it's something. We talk about this a lot as a potluck, and it's important to us to try to push the culture forward. Because we are a hip hop podcast. Serving up culture, current events, and other side dishes. Because we talk about some of the current events and how they deal with us as a culture in general, not just hip hop culture, black culture, minorities in American culture, and that comes with a lot of other side dishes, if you will. That comes with a lot of stuff that you put on your plate. Just trying, at a Jeezy restaurant. There's a lot more that goes into it than, this is Jeezy, so let's go smoke, or this is this, or this is you shouldn't do it because it's Jeezy. It runs a little deeper,
It's bigger than Jeezy, bro. Like, I don't know the staff, but imagine if he had black chefs, black waiters. You just cost all them people their job.
Yeah.
Because you were selfish.
Yeah.
Get over yourself, man. Like, man, you're gonna smoke a blunt at Jeezy's restaurant. Try that in a small town.
and on that note,
see how far that gets you.
Hey, see how far that gets you. Hey, Amon, you gonna tell them the name? Try that in my hood. You doing it? Am I gonna do it?
Try that shit in my hood.
Hey, listen, they don't. Same reason we don't go to them small towns. We don't want that smoke. Anyway, been a pleasure. What we got for our outro today, fellas? I know you got something for me. Something lined up. Amar might not have no. Amar, you got bars? Amar, you look like you got bars. You got glasses on. You got a couple IPAs. Give us a bar.
Well, since we talking about Jeezy, bro, they want that young shit, that dumb shit, that where you from shit, that right around hood all day with your gun shit. Let it go.
I mean, yeah.
As I sit back, relax in the touch, smoke a Dutch, think about the president's wives and want to fuck. I probably catch an L for fucking Abigail, but none of y'all heard of the bitch, so oh well. Dr. Jill was chill, Dr. Hillary was kind of hairy. Wait a minute, what about the ass on Mary? That girdle is fitting like a glove. She had me ready to shoot her club.
And that the girdle, Oh Lord.
Dreams of fucking the president's bitch. It's playing. I'm just saying. Dreams of fucking the president's bitch. I'm just praying. They all decaying.
All right. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some lyrics that I don't know too well, but just because I know the song. Oh, well, we're talking Jeezy. So let's go. You know what? Y'all don't know this one. Therapy for My Soul. Y'all listen to that one yet? Yeah. That's the newest Jeezy. Same nigga made you a millionaire, see you for millions, made men, and he won it all, none for my children. If 1-5 wasn't my dog, I would have touched him. When that shit went down with Gibbs, I couldn't trust him. Invested my hard-earned money, tied up my bread, but he gonna try to tell you I'm flawed. That's in his head. It's happening just the way that I said it. Good on your own. I'm honest, nothing gangster about you. Leave this alone. I think that's a deep, deep bar because he talking about I tried to make money for you. You tried to sue me. I'm trying to show y'all niggas like this nice steakhouse, and y'all ain't here acting up. Just saying.
Can't even get a nice steak without some niggertree happening, bro. What the going on?
Y'all ain't doing that shit at Morton's or with Chris.
Do better. Yeah, exactly, man.
I'm gonna do it next time.
I tell you what, bro. I tell you what. If Kevin Spacey and Ezra Miller opened up a school,
if y'all don't know, go Google it. Oh Lord,
they're gonna be mad at the teachers. I bet you that much. You know, the teachers do try to act like Kevin Spacey and Ezra Miller. So,
oh man,
come on, man. Let's keep it straight across the board.
Right.
Oh man, they're gonna become Catholic priests. Don't worry about the school. Yikes!
Yeesh.
Damn.
Hey, shout out We Know Hip Hop. Shout out everybody that tuned in. Shout out Lou, Janae Ieko today. Yeah.
He caught the Holy Ghost, man.
He said he's shopping, but we don't know what he's really doing, man. You know. Good thing.
Little peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Hey, man.
And he had Trill burgers, man. You know what I'm
He's gonna tell us about Trill Burger next time we get in here. So
did he move to Houston?
yeah, he's in Texas. He's in the great state of Texas now. So
Yes, sir.
they serving up where they do black business is good too. But you know,
that's for Texas, baby.
all right, y'all, we out.
Yes, sir.